We finally got what we wanted! A huge collection of amazing games that some of us haven't played in years! However, now that they are here, I want to talk about some of the worlds seen in these games, because some are truly special in my opinion. So today we will be looking at my personal top 5 worlds seen in the whole collection. And yes, that means we will be covering Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Now, as you can imagine, there will be a healthy amount of nostalgia in this video, but I will do my best to remain as objective as possible when picking these levels. They need to be good after all. Now let's dive right in. Number 5. Now for our very first one, I went with a classic. A place that everyone recognizes instantly as soon as they see it or even hear the music. Bob-omb Battlefield. The very first course in Super Mario 64 where you intervene in a war between pink and black bob-ombs. Now, as you can imagine, this level was crucial in selling the idea of a 3D platformer to the gamers of 1996. And in my opinion, it did a pretty good job. Now this level is just a gigantic field with one huge mountain that is kind of the most important location on the entire map. And in this world you are faced with quite a lot of different challenges that are fitting for someone who isn't very used to 3D platforming. A great example is the first one. This mission involves fighting the big bob-omb at the top of the mountain. So first you got to make your way to the top, which is already quite a big challenge because there are tons of obstacles on the way there, like seesaws, pits, rolling balls, and tons of enemies. This already puts the skills of the player to the test, and kind of trains them for what's to come in the other worlds. And then the fight with King Bob-omb is just good movement again, since you need to pick him up from behind and throw him. So this is already a good start, and in my opinion for both a novice and a seasoned platformer. And that's because there is a lot of room for improvement in the route you take, and a lot of the later levels in this world work in a similar way. A noob can take his time and do it the normal way, while pros can use their crazy skills to skip entire portions. So in a way, it's incredibly enjoyable for both a beginner and a Mario expert. And so, in my opinion, it deserves to be on this list. Aside from that, its diverse list of missions also helps a lot. Two that I like a lot, for example, are the one with the chain chomp and the race against Koopa the Quick. Those are just classics and bring out the best in Super Mario 64. Number 4. Now, as some of you know, Super Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite Super Mario games of all time. It's just amazing in my opinion. However, I will say Super Mario Galaxy also has a special place in my heart. I grew up with that game as well after all. And in that title, we also go to one galaxy that reminds me a lot of Sunshine in a good way, while also adding the charm of the Mario adventure in space. I'm of course talking about Beach Bowl Galaxy, which is defined by one big planet that has a beach area filled with penguins called a penguin paradise. And I will be honest, from the very start, I like this first area with the penguins the most, and that's also because, I like the penguins a lot. I mean, duh. Now, while the galaxy is one of the only 3 major galaxies to not feature a boss battle, it's still a ton of fun. And that's because it has real character to it, as well as a lot of variety in terms of stuff you are doing during levels. For example, in one of the first levels you need to get a golden shell so you can win a competition. However, the penguins are also after it. So this is some sort of underwater challenge. Now, these are usually not that fun, however in this instance it is. Now after this you get a mission where you need to do some platforming along something called the Cyclone Stone, which is again a completely different challenge compared to the previous one I mentioned, but it doesn't even end there, because there's also another mission that builds around the Ice Flower power-up, using it to scale a bunch of waterfalls, which is again different and fun. Clearly this world offers a lot of different challenges and even some special mechanics like the Ice Flower. That's why I like it so much. The first planet and the fish people on it give the world tons of character, which is also the case in Hive Galaxy, while also offering more than enough when it comes to gameplay. So it's great! Number 3. Alright, now we can finally take a look at one of my favorite games of all time, the glorious Super Mario Sunshine. And here we go to one world that's just phenomenal. A hilly and countryside region in the center of Isle Delfino. This place is basically a huge park of sorts, and in my opinion, it looks gorgeous. With the beginning of the level already being an amazing start. You first run up a little hill, and then go to a section that's similar to a slide, where you can dive and ride down on your belly. And at the end of this short ride you can do a jump, after which you end up on a line from which you can jump further into the level itself. This already has a really nice flow to it, and is very satisfying to pull off. So from the very start, this world already has a nice pacing and good platforming sections. And in the levels, you also get quite a lot of variety in terms of challenges, including 2 boss fights, with the second one being the best. In the beginning, you get introduced to the level, because all you need to do is beat a polluted piranha. However, in later missions, you get bigger and bigger challenges, including boss fights, open platforming sections where you're hunting down coins, and even Super Mario 64 style linear platforming sections. So it makes almost every Super Mario fan happy. It offers so much, maybe even more than the previous worlds we talked about. And obviously, I also love this world because of nostalgia. As soon as I hear the music of it, I already get excited. So in my opinion, it's quite a good world, regardless of my nostalgia as well. It's just a good beginning for the game. It prepares the player for what's to come very effectively. However, it isn't the best ever. Number 2. Now, one thing that is very important in my opinion is that a world has character. There needs to be something for me to like after all. So if it has very good theming, then I will most likely enjoy it. It makes me actually care about the people or creatures that I help, while also making me more curious about the world itself and the beings found in it. And one other place that does a great job at this is Hive Galaxy, which is a forest-based galaxy full of flowers, honeycomb walls, and friendly honeybees. The kingdom and its bee subjects are ruled by Queen Bee, and this is also the level where we first see the bee mushroom. Now, as you could have guessed, I like this place a lot because of the bee people found throughout the entire world. I mean, yeah. They look incredibly cute and add a lot of flair and character to the whole world. Without them, it would just be a generic woodland world. Now, aside from that, the missions you have in this place aren't too bad. However, I will say it's nowhere near as diverse as some of the previous ones I mentioned. In the end, you're mostly messing around with the bee mushroom, which can be a bit of a hit and miss. However, overall, it's way more fun than annoying. The boss will mostly annoy you because positioning for that can be hard. Now, aside from those challenges, you're mostly doing straightforward platforming stuff, which is still quite nice, but nothing too special. So to be honest, I just like this one the most, because messing around with the bee mushroom is just tons of fun, and I love those little bee people. That's why it's also not too high on the list. But aside from that, it still offers tons of fun in the form of platforming. So it should satisfy everyone. Number 1. Now we get to the very best one, a world that everyone has to experience when they buy the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. And that's because this world offers everything a Super Mario fan could ever want, more than all the ones I just mentioned combined. Although there's one mission that can be annoying. The world I'm talking about is Gelato Beach. Now, I know a lot of people actually hate this world because of 2 missions that you have to do here, which are quite tricky. Now, the ones I'm talking about are the episodes The Sandbird is Born and the Watermelon Waterfall. However, of these 2, only one is truly annoying in my opinion. The Sandbird is 100% doable, and was actually surprisingly easy for me the last time I did it like a year ago. You know, when I was playing through the game using an emulator or here on YouTube during streams. Yes, I stream on YouTube for the people who don't know. I do this every Thursday and Friday from 7 to 9 PM Central European Time, so stop by. Now, I don't want to be one of those people who brag about their abilities in gaming, and then if you can't do the same, then you suck. You know, those annoying people who are like, "But Wily, this stuff is super easy. I did it 3 times in a row while bungee jumping into the Grand Canyon with my hands tied to my back and a blindfold on." Stuff like that can be a bit much and sometimes takes the fun out of it. All I'm trying to say here is that it's doable and not unfair, really. The watermelon level, though, is a different story. That can be a pain, especially when you need to get across the beach. Still, when you take your time with it, it does make it better. But the little duckbill freaks can be very annoying. However, let's get into what makes this world great. It offers a lot. In this world, there are a couple of typical Super Mario Sunshine levels, like the one where you need to get those weird little beings off those mirrors. These are overall quite odd, but refreshing in my opinion. It's different from all the other missions in the game, and stuff like this makes Sunshine special in my opinion. But that's not all. You also get some cool linear platforming sections that are similar to Super Mario 64, like the race with Piantissimo or the small platforming levels. This stuff is just good old 3D platforming. Overall, it's incredibly similar to Super Mario 64, which is a good thing, because that stuff is fun and a welcome change of pace in this game. And then you also have a big boss battle in this world, where you fight a huge wiggler, which can be tense and terrifying. The beast can come straight at you after all. After thinking long and hard, this is certainly my favorite world in the game. And even the entire collection. Sure, it has some flaws, but nothing's perfect. But be sure to tell me in the comments what your list would be, and then I will see you again very soon.